everybody, welcome to the Sky Lounge, and this is Piggyskin Picks, where I pick the winners and losers of the upcoming NFL week. Boys and girls, week 1 is upon us. We have waited months, and we are now finally gonna have some goddamn football. Ba 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 da 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 da. Saturday. Without any further ado, boys and girls, let's get on with these picks. Now, Thursday Night Football tomorrow, 5:20 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The Green Bay Packers versus the Chicago Bears. I'm going to go ahead and pick the Green Bay Packers. And I think, again, relatively close battle between two teams that, aside from a few key positions, are more or less the same, I believe. I think Green Bay wins by a field goal, and I know that's a trigger word for all the Chicago fans, but I see Green Bay coming out of this one alive with the win by a field goal, and it'll be interesting to see how Chicago does this season compared to last season, where I feel they really overachieved, relatively speaking. So, picking Green Bay on that one, boys and girls. Now, let's move on to the next one. The LA Rams versus the Carolina Panthers. I'm going to go ahead and pick the Rams. I think the Panthers are going to regress a lot more than last season. And yes, last season for them was an opportunistic season where they completely choked halfway through. And for the Rams, I see this as a stepping down season for them. But they'll still get a lot of tough wins when they need to. But yeah, I see them getting a win here against Carolina, where, to be fair, winning Carolina isn't really an accomplishment, is it? But let's move on, boys and girls. The Washington Redskins versus the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going to go ahead and pick the Philadelphia Eagles, but also throw this caveat. I was actually looking at sportsbookreview.com, and they had the spread, I believe, at minus 10.5 or minus 10, depending on which bookie you're using. But to suggest that the Redskins will lose by 10 plus points, that seems a little bit crazy. I think it's going to be a bit of a closer game, but Philly comes out of it inevitably winning that football game, no problem in that regard. Now, the Buffalo Bills versus the New York Jets. I got to go with the Jets on this one. I think the Buffalo Bills will put out an outstanding performance on the defensive side, but I think offense is something they're going to stifle with a little bit more. Whereas the Jets, you see them revamp their offense. The question is, will that O-line creep up and do some damage internally? But at the moment, I have the Jets winning this game comfortably. And now, the Atlanta Falcons versus the Minnesota Vikings. I'm going to go ahead and select the Vikings on this. Seems like a down-the-wire game. Maybe a minute, 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter where things just kind of get decided, either by an INT or a deciding touchdown. Who the hell knows? Maybe Kirk Cousins wins this shit and convinces all the Minnesota fans that he is the one when clearly he's not. And as for the Atlanta Falcons, I think this could be a better season than last season. Barring injuries, right? But I see Minnesota winning comfortably at home. Well, not comfortably. Uncomfortably at home is the way to say that one, boys and girls. Now, the Baltimore Ravens versus the Miami Dolphins. I'm going to go ahead and pick the Baltimore Ravens and also say this tank bowl for the Miami Dolphins. Toilet bowl, tank bowl, whatever the fuck you want to call it. They are tanking, and as they should, with all the assets that they sent out and all the fucking draft picks they have accumulated, aka hoarded. The Dolphins kind of have to lose this season. And so there you go. You're going to have the Baltimore Ravens, I believe, winning in Miami. And the next game of the Kansas City Chiefs versus Jacksonville Jaguars. I think the Chiefs will take this one pretty easily. And I know the arguments will be made, the defense isn't all there. I'll tell you one thing right now, as a Seahawks fan. The Chiefs got a fantastic weapon in Frank Clark, and he is going to do damage. I think the Kansas City Chiefs defense is going to show out. My only concern right now with the Chiefs is their offense. Is it still going to be the same? Will Andy Reid be able to milk out MVP level Patrick Mahomes, oh yeah, Kermit the Frog, is he going to be able to do that? If so, yes, I think Jacksonville is going to get shell-shocked at home, despite a lot of key pieces that they acquired, either through the draft or free agency, Nick Foles, Josh Allen. But I see Kansas coming out of this one alive. Pretty well, mind you. Now, let's move on to the next game. The Tennessee Titans versus the Cleveland Browns. Boys and girls, I'm going to go ahead and select the Cleveland Browns. And this is why. 14 season home openers lost. I think this is the year where the Browns finally take that step and say, not this year. We're not a laughingstock this year. I think this season, the Browns probably go 12-4, and this is going to be a statement game today, or when they play on Sunday against the Titans. For the Titans, I don't really know what to make of them. I think that AFC South is such a crapshoot. I don't really know what's a good team over there. Yeah, people say Houston, but I don't really think they're all that great, relatively speaking. Again, what can they really offer? But we're going to have to see if the Cleveland Browns can win this. Break that 14-year curse. Come on, Browns. Do your job. Make Baker happy. And OBJ, obviously, making his home debut in Cleveland will be huge. So, let's move on to the next game, boys and girls. The Indianapolis Colts versus the LA Chargers. I'm going to go ahead and select the Chargers with this one. And go out and say I think this is just going to be an ugly, ugly game. Yes, Derwin James and Melvin Gordon. Not with the Chargers. I think despite all of that, yes, the Chargers will still get down the field, get shit done. But don't underestimate the Colts. I don't think they're going to be all that good this season. But I think game to game, you're going to see a lot of talent there. You're going to see a lot of good, just natural good natural talent players just doing their job and doing the dirty business. Guys, do you not forget that you have an all-pro in Quentin Nelson and also Darius Leonard? Jesus fucking Christ. I'm very curious to see how this game turns out, but I think the Chargers will win this in a very ugly game. When I say ugly, I would imagine the first half is like 2-3 field goals. That's what I mean by an ugly fucking game. Just nothing getting done on the field. So I will take the Chargers on that one. So boys and girls, let's move on to the next game. The Cincinnati Bengals versus Seattle Seahawks. Kind of stuttered there. But yes, the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Seattle Seahawks at CenturyLink Field. I'm going to go ahead and go with the Seattle Seahawks, but we'll say the -9.5 or -9 spread for the Seattle Seahawks. I don't think we're going to cover it, but I believe that the game will be inevitably be won in the third quarter, by maybe in the dying minutes, where the Seahawks will stamp firmly the winning, either touchdown or really the killing drive of the game. And for Cincinnati, I don't really have a lot of positives. I don't. Yeah, you got rid of Marvin Lewis, but everything else is just kind of a question mark. Your first round pick out for the entire season. Was Joe Mixon out? I guess AJ Green. Oh boy, I don't know. Bengals tank bowl, maybe. Just settle for picks. Fuck it. But for Seattle, this is a great opportunity with Jadeveon Clowney, Ziggy Ansah at a beautiful fucking front seven to make a statement to the entire league and say, hey, we're here. We're going to make some goddamn noise, and hopefully we get to the playoffs and do some nasty stuff. Now, let's move on to the next game. The 49ers, the San Francisco 49ers versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm going to go ahead and pick the San Francisco 49ers. I think Bruce Arians of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is going to put up a brilliant effort in the coaching department, but inevitably, I think the 49ers will get away with the lucky one here. And again, Jameis Winston, you have him on the other side with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Will he be able to pull through? Will he be able to ultimately guide his team to a win? To me, this game, I don't think so. But like I said, I think the 49ers will get very lucky in this game and come out with a win away and have their shit going. Now, the New York Giants versus the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to go ahead and pick the Dallas Cowboys. I don't think the Dallas Cowboys will cover. It was like a double-digit spread. I don't think they'll cover that. However, I do think offensively they're going to show up. I think Dak is going to do some damage. Amari, obviously. You got a lot of key pieces in that offense. Obviously, you signed Zeke to that new contract. Of course, you're going to show him out. Defensively, the Dallas Cowboys are so fantastic. They can get at you with that front seven, which is arguably one of the best in football. And the Giants, really, at this point, it's, all right, how many games do we lose until we put in Daniel Jones? And I know the owners and the executives of the Giants aren't really going to do that anymore, especially with the whole shit couple of seasons back when they put in Geno Smith instead of Eli. I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going to happen to the Giants. I'm pretty sure some people are thinking, oh man, if Eli gets injured, then probably Daniel Jones goes in. But we'll see. We'll see. But I still think the Cowboys come out with the win in their first home game, and the Giants get embarrassed, more or less. But make it a respectable dissing in that regard. So, the Detroit Lions versus the Arizona Cardinals. I'm going to go ahead with the Detroit Lions and call this also a tank bowl / toilet bowl, because holy fuck. If you're the Arizona Cardinals, like, what the fuck are you actually doing? you take another first round quarterback, again, back-to-back years. You fire a fucking coach after one fucking year, and you bring in a fucking discount McVay who hasn't won in college? Oh, okay, all right, that seems like a brilliant idea. Yeah, and you're going to have these dipshit fucking Cardinals fans telling me this was the greatest fucking thing ever. We're going to be the best franchise. Bullshit. What O-line do you have? Where's your fucking defense in terms of who's going to get at you? Peterson suspended for that fucking PED. Whereas the Lions, I've seen marginal improvements. I think the Lions have been getting better, relative terms. But I think, again, it might be a season for them where I just dick punches galore. So, at least I'll get a win here against the worst fucking team in the NFL last season. But that's how shit goes sometimes, boys and girls. Pittsburgh Steelers versus the New England Patriots. I'm going to go ahead and pick this Patriots team winning at home. Pat's at home. Come on. And I don't think Mike Tomlin, Ben Roethlisberger is going to be all prepared and ready to go against the New England Patriots. I think they might get their ass handed to them. We'll see. We'll see, because, again, new dynamic in the team. You don't have the two biggest cancers in there. I mean, yeah, you still got the major queen cancer in Ben Roethlisberger, but maybe a different culture. Who the hell knows? But I still think the Patriots are going to come out of this one with the win. And now let's move on to the Houston Texans versus the New Orleans Saints. I think the Saints are going to destroy the Houston Texans defense. I think Drew Brees, with that incredible offense, is just going to run a fucking train through Houston. Where Houston, I do believe they'll retaliate back. But New Orleans will probably play better situational defense compared to Houston. So I put the edge. I give the edge here to New Orleans. And now let's move on to the final game of Week 1. The Denver Broncos versus the Oakland Raiders. I'm picking the Raiders on this one, boys and girls. Holy shit, I know. I'm picking the Oakland Raiders on this one. The Las Vegas Raiders, whatever the fuck you want to call them. I believe this game will be a nice, home opener for the Raiders. They win that first game, but this will be the first win of many losses in the season. Whereas the Denver Broncos, yeah, I don't think you're going to have the best season, but it's going to be a good opportunity for young guys to show out, and perhaps, convince John Elway that, yeah, Joe Flacco may not be the answer. Yeah, Case Keenum wasn't the answer. Neither is Joe Flacco. But sure, just put them out there, trot them out on the field, see what happens. But I think Oakland comes out of this with the win. So, boys and girls, that's the Piggyskin picks for week number 1. I'm excited for the kickoff, right? Holy shit, man. We're only a day away. It's going to be fucking great. And so, boys and girls, if you're as excited as me, follow me at the SkyLounge and all the links in the description below. Like, comment, subscribe. For more daily contents, for more Piggyskin Picks 2,